Okay, everybody. I told you, I've been telling you for a few weeks now. I've got a friend of mine that had his own business, and he decided to retire a couple years ago. And I think he's got a different perspective on the decision process leading up to it than the other couple guys that I've talked to that retired from other jobs. So stick around, and we're going to talk to my friend Mike about his decision. So, like I said, this is Mike. Clearly not Robbie. He's a good-looking guy, but not Robbie. You know what I'm
Robbie's
saying?
better looking.
Okay. And as I've been contemplating retirement, I'm just kind of looking around at the people that are around me that I spend time with, a little bit of time with here and there, and trying to get their perspective on it. And I've already talked to a couple guys who, if you've been watching the channel, you know that. And now I was looking for another perspective, somebody that didn't have to think about working for the man, but had to think about stepping away from working for himself. So that's Mike. So Mike, why don't you tell him a little bit about what you did for a living, how long you did it, and that kind of thing.
Well, I've been doing this for 30 years. Retired about a little over 2 years ago. Built golf courses and athletic fields, the synthetic turf. Um, really enjoyed my work. I just had a good opportunity timing was right and a good opportunity to get out. So thought I would see what it's like to be retired. And honestly, I would recommend it.
Okay, so how old were you when you actually retired?
62. It was
Okay.
actually, I retired on my birthday.
All right. And so you were at least a part owner in this business that you worked for, right?
Correct.
Okay. And I know you've watched some of our videos, and there's a lot of people out there who get caught up in their work, and like their work defines who they are. Did you find yourself there before you retired? Like, am I going to be able to step away?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think for me, I mean, that is who we are. I mean, what we do. I mean, as far as identity, um, I just had to come up with the time to just finally pull the trigger on it and say, yeah, it's time to do it. And finally set a date and went for it.
What was the tipping point? What made you, I mean, obviously we don't want to talk about money or whatever opportunity there was involved, but I mean, what made you say, okay,
My
I think I can walk away from this?
my partner kept asking me, what's your plan? What's your plan? Because he knew I was getting kind of close. We'd talked about it a little bit, but I was a little nervous about getting her retiring, just for the fact that like probably everybody, just could I keep enough things going to keep me busy.
Right.
Um, and he finally just kept pushing and pushing, and I just told him I'll quit on my birthday in next year, and so that's what we planned for.
Okay. And before you actually pulled the trigger, then did you, I think I asked Mark last time, did you like set yourself up for, here's what I'm going to spend in retirement and trying to get a budget together? Or did you just know you were going to be okay, and that wasn't even part of the situation?
Well, I was kind of the CFO of the company, so numbers. I've always been in the numbers racket. I've got a budget. I knew what I was going to spend, and you know, for the most part, we've stuck to the budget, other than the inflation. I mean, like everybody,
Right.
it's not really having a detrimental effect on us, but we're feeling it just like everyone. But yeah, I knew what I was going to spend. We didn't change our lifestyle much.
Okay. What about the stuff that people told you about retirement? Some people say you're going to have trouble filling your time. Some people say, you're going to spend less money than you think you're going to spend. Some people say you're going to spend more. What's been surprising for you about this whole last couple of years?
I honestly don't have a lot of surprises out of it. I think I had a pretty good handle on what it was going to be like. One thing I would say is have some things to do. You've got to fill that time that you had working with other things, and I did it with things that I enjoyed doing. I see my grandkids a lot more than I ever have. I try to get them at least once a week. Um, there's a group of us that we competitive shooters. We've really got pretty serious into the shooting sports. We've got horses. I've got a farm, so there's always something to do around here.
Yeah, we're sitting here right off your property, and it's pretty beautiful out here. So I can see how this could fill your time.
I enjoy it, and it does. I mean, the nice thing about being retired is you do have the freedom. But if you don't want to do something, you don't have to. I mean, you can put it off till tomorrow.
Right.
And I had a lazy day today. I mean, and typically they're not. Gail keeps telling me, my wife's Gail, hey, take a day off. You stay pretty busy, and which I try to. I enjoy that.
Well, I know, like, you and I met through volunteering at church.
Yep.
And you spend a lot more time in that kind of ministry than I do. Do you? Does that help fill the time, like doing that sort of volunteering, maybe giving back a little bit?
It really does. I volunteer at the church on the ERT team, and it's taken up quite a bit of my time. I mean, especially when we were first getting it going, Bradley and I co-lead. But at the same time, we've got a lot of good people now. It's really grown. I also volunteer at Northland Therapeutic Riding Center.
Okay.
That's a really good program as well. I mean,
that's horseback riding stuff.
Yeah, they bring on kids that mentally and physically disabled, and they put them on horses, and we give them rides.
Oh,
and,
that's awesome.
I mean, every week it's a great program.
Okay, so what about
So if you're looking for something to do, I can get you hooked up with them.
I'm not much of a horseman, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a Boy Scout, I did a little horseback riding, but that's 45, 6, 7 years ago now.
Yeah, they got all kinds of things to do out there. So anyway.
So what about like disappointments? Has there been anything that you thought I was really looking forward to and that's just not there?
Honestly, I do not see a lot of regrets or disappointments. I mean, if it's something I don't like, I just change it. I mean, it's for me, it's not that big a deal. I love living out here. I set this place up kind of as a retirement and vacation home anyway. So I mean, I'm on vacation every day out here as far as I'm concerned. I traveled a lot throughout my early years of my career, and honestly, I'm not that big a traveler anymore. I like staying home, and with all the animals, it's tough to get away anyway. I mean, it's
right.
They keep you here.
Okay, and your wife still works, right?
She does still work.
So how does that play into the to your ability to kind of do what you want, or is it a good thing?
It's got pros and cons. For her, I'm a con because I make a lot of noise, and
and she works from home.
And she works from
Okay.
home, so
Yeah.
so I make a lot of noise, and she complains and tries to tell me to keep it down. On the flip side of that, I mean, with me shooting, I mean, I keep her working so she can buy my ammo. So I mean,
there you go. That's a good thing. Okay, and how do you think it's going to change once she does retire? Or maybe we don't want to talk about that yet. I don't know. You're probably still in the planning phases.
We
of that
haven't.
A little bit.
We've discussed it a little bit. I mean, I think she's going to probably spend more time with me on things I do. She likes tagging along, and I like having her with me. I mean, she goes out and shoots, but she needs to do it more if she's going to continue in this in that big picture. But
okay, so if you're talking to your 20-year-old self or your 25 or 30-year-old self, what are you telling yourself about retirement?
Well, I mean, you definitely have to plan. I mean, you need to save your money and start thinking about what you want to do as you grow older. And I don't think people 20 years old probably think much about that.
I know I didn't.
I didn't either. I was a pretty good money manager throughout my whole life. I'm a Dave Ramsey fan, and honestly, Dave Ramsey, I had his plan before I even knew who he was. So I was always, I felt like I was doing pretty well.
Okay. What about from a health standpoint? I mean, a lot of people, and I know one of the things that's kind of playing into my decision lately is around our age, people start to have these ailments that start to get in their way of doing the things that they want to do. Did you take the time to stay in pretty good health before you retired, so that you, I mean, purposefully, so that
Probably
you could
not.
get ready?
No, I'm actually probably in better shape now than when I retired.
Oh,
We actually started a program, 75 Hard, with our ERT group, and I just continued on with it. I still work out once a day, drink lots of water. We changed our diet, got off all my meds. I mean, I was on 3 different meds. I got off all them. My
that's
numbers are
awesome.
back to normal, and just from basically the diet and the working out, I'd say. But no, I feel great.
Well, that's great. And
Yeah.
I know Gail went along with you on that journey, right? So,
She's continuing. We work out together every morning.
well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll head towards wrapping this thing up. I think both of us feel like we've been pretty blessed in our lives, right? Just
Absolutely.
I think God plays a big part in what we're doing, and we're always asking those questions, right? Like, hey, should I be doing this? So trying to listen for those answers,
Well,
right?
and I wasn't brought up in the church. It's not how I grew up, but I've learned a lot. I actually got baptized this year.
I remember
So
that. Yep,
yeah,
that was pretty
so it was
amazing.
yeah. I'm I feel really good about where I'm at in life.
That's awesome. Well, Mike, I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me. I hope that as people watch this, I mean, I'm trying to get different perspectives, and I think there's people out there that are similar situation to you that are like, okay, I'm in my early 60s or late 50s, and I've got this business I've worked my butt off trying to build,
Right.
and now can I walk away, and is it time to walk away? And I think you can be an inspiration to people saying, you know what, get out of there while you've got your health, and you can do some of the things you want to do and not have to worry about that clock all the time.
Find things that will keep you busy, but you've got to have some kind of hobbies to do this. But I I do not have time, and actually, I probably am. I'm probably just as busy as I always have been. The only difference, I just don't get paid anymore.
Well, you're getting paid in another way,
I
right?
am. That's for sure.
That's right. Okay. Well, again, thank you. Thanks for taking the
All right.
time. I know it wasn't at the top of your list of things you wanted to do in your life either, but I appreciate you being a good sport.
Well, yeah, you had to be desperate to pick me. So,
That's not
but
true.
thank
That's
you.
not
I
true.
appreciate it.
All right, folks. If you enjoyed this video, it'd be great if you'd hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We've got some other things coming up in the future. I know there's another YouTuber out there that's from Southern Missouri that we're going to get together with. She recently retired, and we're going to talk to her about that. And I'm going to try to dig up somebody who's not having so much fun in retirement, but I don't know if that person exists. I mean, at
Yeah.
least not in my circle. I'm sure they're out there, but they're just not in my circle right now. But if you have some suggestions for me, it'd be great to hear that in the comments. So leave us a comment, and again, thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Rich.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
thanks everybody.
All right.
God bless you all.